going to learn about a fabulous open source 3D program called Blender, and this is the latest version, Blender 2.65. There you can see that build number there, and this is the stable version downloaded from the blender.org. And please note that this tutorial will be more focused to the Maya user, because I'm also a Maya user. I just want to learn these wonderful softwares, and Blender artist also created some presets for my artist too. So you can see that whenever you open the Blender, you can see that splash screen, and you can see there is interaction. You can change it to Blender and Maya. So I'm just using the Maya. Click outside anywhere, and you can use as you are using Maya. And if you open the Blender, you can see one cube, a default cube is there, and one camera and one light option. And this is a little bit confusing to my artist, but we can come to it later. First we have to adjust everything to work correctly as Maya works. So now the navigation is 90% working as Maya. Pressing alt and left click, rotating, you can rotate the scene, middle mouse and alt you can drag, and right click and you can zoom, but this is opposite to Maya, so we have to change it first. So you need to change some settings before working Blender. So go to file, you can see that user preferences, just click that tab, and can see a lot of options are here. First go to interface, there is nothing to change. You can see that tooltip, some options there. If you want large cursor, playback, global scene scale, object origin size, or anything you want, you can use that. If you want default object size should be whatever it's 6 grid unit, and display brightness, cursor depth, auto direct, zoom to mouse position, rotate around selection. This will be very handy for my users. So use a rotate around selection, that will be very nice. Don't use auto perspective now. You can use time code style, something manipulate to open on mouse or done. And there is one option, you have to select prompt quit. If you don't use this option, whenever you create anything in Blender, and if you close this window, Blender will quit. No asking or anything about to save your scene, so just use the prompt quit scene, and this will be very handy for my user. And go to editing, there is nothing you want to change. You can use global undo to 50 if you want, then 32 is much safer for this. You can see grease pencil, that's new for my users. Smooth stroke, simplify stroke, that we can change later. Animation editor of visibility, key visual keying if you want, and you can auto keyframing. This will be much basic, don't change anything here. And input, there you need to change. You can see that preset tab, and there one option in the also changed it to Maya, because we changed that preset in the splash screen. If you don't change it there, you can also change it from here, Blender and Maya. Here also Blender and Maya. So using Maya, this will change some options here. You can see if you select Blender, this will be opposite. So for my artist, this will be very confusing. If you are working in Maya in studio and working in Blender when you're home, this will be very difficult. So use Maya if you want to work in both software simultaneously. And using the continuous grab also will be better if you want more control over. Just leave it there and drag the shoulder, select with the left. In default, Blender will select with right, but I use left. And you can use emulate number pad if you are using laptop like me. You don't have a number pad in keyboard, delicate number pad. You have only the number keys at the top, so using that number pad you have to change in the viewport. So just use emulate number pad if you are using laptop. If you are using a dedicated keyboard, just turn it off. Okay, and there is one option you have to change, that inward zoom direction. Just tick off that. This will be very similar to our Maya. And there one option that you can change the keyboard shortcuts here. Use anything want. If you want, you can use these are very similar to Maya. If you want, you can change everything from here or add new shift keyboard shortcuts, but this will be pretty better. And there one thing you need to adjust before go to add-ons. If you want to add some more add-ons, there are a lot of plugins here with in Blender. It's already coming with praise as a preset enabled. You can use testing, community official, you can use enabled, and these are some scripts enabled and disable. If you click disable, you can see that there is something option. And when you need to select is the dynamic spacebar menu. Please note that this is nothing similar to Maya's dynamic spacebar menu, but simply turning on this will be very easy if you are using that spacebar menu a lot. And can also use in the mesh option. You can use, there are so many options: B surface, GPL, insert polygon, loop tools, or loop tools, insert polygon, and mesh relax. And B surface are some for Maya users to have use, and object, add chain, animator, net breaker, cell fracture, cloud generator, fracture tool. If you want to use these, you can turn on. And some we have to use called 3D view. We already used 3D dynamic spacebar menu. And if you are creating some tutorials, you can also turn on the screencast keys. If you want your mouse or keyboard pressing will be shown in Blender menu, but I don't want this. And we can use something called IVGen, something basically similar to Maya. Paint effect trees and plants. You can see extra objects, sapling, simplify curves, add mesh. We also can use and landscape tool, creating full landscape terrains, bolt factory, some bolt objects and extra objects. You can get some more extra polygons, pipe joints, regular solids. If you want, you can use these also. I'm using also this because this will be very handy for creating some tools. And there is one color compositing, film response curves, development, game engines. Import export is another option you need to just check because I can use Autodesk FBX 3ds format, and if you are working another anything called AutoCAD or anything similar format, you can use these options. Turn on this Ramesh quick map or nuke animation and something. Just go through that. If you are using anything from this, you can use that files and mesh object paint render. You can see there is some called cycles render engine, light fill tools. If you are using that too many options, which then you can check which are options you need. And rigging also, you need to use Rigify for an automatic rigging. That is a best tool system. And this UV option and beg you text to text. If you see that this option, that means that this is not fully supported for this current version. And don't close. We need to change some options. Also in themes, you can change it to whatever you want. You can see that Blender 24x back to black, and it's some option, and you can use customized themes download from the site. You can use that customized themes, something similar to Maya or anything. So just use I'm using that reset to default theme or anything, just reset to default theme. This is the default theme, and file you can change this, or because Maya will be using the fonts option. If you are creating text, Maya will be used that font directory. Here you need to change the directory to Windows fonts directory if you are using Windows in Blender. So I'm using, click that, this will open a new window. So I'm just using Windows, so just Windows fonts, okay, and accept. That will create a fonts directory, textures. Now I also have some preset in my texture library. So I'm just using resources textures, so I have a lot of textures I downloaded from, and you can use render output adjust. This will be the whatever scene directory for your Blender. As like Maya, your Blender don't have any scene directory, so you have to specify what is the scene directory. So I just using just created some, and you can see I already created some Blender directory, so just accept that. And some option, if you want the image editor or Photoshop or anything, and you can select that here also. And animation player in general, you can see that a lot of player, and if you are using any other player you can use that, and there will be some options here also, but that won't be necessary. If you want, you can use show thumbnails. That will be best for viewing your images and movies. And one more thing you need to check with that is the system and general. There is font size and resolution to display. 72 is best for this, and sound option don't change it there. And you need to change this option compute device and CUDA, and CUDA used for GPU acceleration. So if you are using uh, latest NVIDIA cards, just turn this on. This will automatically enable whatever graphics card, separate graphics card. So I have GeForce GT 425 mobile laptop NVIDIA graphics card, so it's automatically changed to that. You can see that open GL version options here, anisotropy filtering, and if you want you can increase anisotropy filtering just as like games. It will increase rendering output time, text and delays, limitation size or something. These are options you have to adjust. And solid open GL lights, don't change color pick a type, custom weight range, so use this. And if you are using another language, just so use international fonts also. So just if you want, you can change this as a default scene options, or just close it as it is. But just say if you work with everything, so just use save as default. You can also always change back to the factory settings. So just go to file, and you can see that load factory settings, so that will change your Blender scene back to the settings. So I'm just winding up this section, and next section we will go through the interface and do some basics. uh, then in later tutorial I will cover more about Blender options, and I'm still learning Blender along with Maya, so using Blender with the settings with Maya is easier for me. So it's turning to Blender with the different settings and using Maya for work, that will be very difficult to handle. So I'm just using Blender as a site software now. but it have a lot of potential, so I just started learning it. So I'm just saving quitting this tutorial for now, and you can keep watching from easyg.net for more greater tutorial.